friends, I am Ayantika. In this video, I will be discussing about the evolutionary trend in order Volvocalis. Now, I have been making videos about some other algae of Volvocalis, especially Chlamydomonas and Volvox. If you want to have knowledge about those videos, I mean about Volvox and Chlamydomonas, the links are put in the description box. Now here, by evolutionary trend in Volvocalis, I mean that all the algae in the order Volvocalis, they exhibit certain evolutionary tendencies as individual, like in Chlamydomonas, or as a group. Now, this evolutionary tendency can be due to the in the form of arrangement or number of species in particular algae in the series, or gradual evolution both in term of reproduction and architecture of the thallus. Now I will be discussing the evolutionary trend in two categories. One is the architecture of the thallus. Another is about the how the reproduction. There is evolutionary trend in reproduction. Before I start the main video, there is a quiz for you. Which one of the following algae are present in clear water? By clear water, we mean that there is no turbidity, and any water can be clear. At the same time, it can have eutrophication, or it can be very acidic or alkaline. But clear water means that it will have less amount of particulate matter. That usually causes turbidity. Now there are 4 algae species that are written, and if you know the answer, you pick up the answer and write it in the comment section, or otherwise I'll be discussing it at the end of the video. Now these we see the picture here. We see the picture of algae in the respective order. This is Chlamydomonas. This is we see that the single cell Chlamydomonas. This is the Altmansiella. This is Gonium. This is also another species of Gonium. And then we have Eudorina. Here we have Eudorina. We have we have Pandorina. This is Eudorina. This is Altmansiella. And this is Volvox. Here we see that so far the structure is concerned, we see that the Chlamydomonas, the most primitive of the Volvocine, that is Volvocine line starts with starts from the Chlamydomonas, where the Chlamydomonas it is a unicell, single celled, and as we go up the Volvocine line, that is we reach the Volvox. Here there is progressive development of the synobium, that is from unicellular to colonial form, and in colonial form also there is increase in number of cells in the colony. As a result, there is increase in gradual size of the size of the colony. Say for example, here in Chlamydomonas, it is a unicell, but if we see this tendency, we see that this Chlamydomonas, a single cell of Chlamydomonas, is easily predated by water fleas, by any other aquatic micro as well as macro invertebrate species. And so this as Chlamydomonas, it has less survival fitness against the predation, against the predation by the aquatic invertebrates. So what happened is that Chlamydomonad type of or Spirilla type of organisms, it colonized, or it grouped together, so that in a colony it is more easy to eat a single Chlamydomonas by the water flea or any other aquatic invertebrate than a colony. It is difficult to consume a colony, especially because a single Chlamydomonas will produce just a very little amount of mucilaginous secretion, but colony which consists of many cells will produce a huge copious amount of mucilage. So feeding the algae by crossing the mucilage, it becomes a bit troublesome. So this colony formation is of fitness advantage, so for the survival advantage of the volvocine algae. So we see that there is a gradual shift from single cell to many cell. Here we see in the Altmansiella. Here Altmansiella, they have 4 cells that are attached side by side to form a colony. In certain species of gonium, there is 4 cells attached side by side again. But in other species of gonium, we see that there are much larger number of cells. Gonium, depending upon the number of species, this gonium can have 4 to 16 to 32 cells. Here we see that there is inner 4 and outer 12 cells. It can also be in a 16 cell colony, and this gonium can have both 4, 16 and even 32 cells in the colony, depending upon the species. But in this Pandorina, here Pandorina also has 16 to 32 cells, but Eudorina there is gradual increase. That is, from 1632 there can be even 44 cells. And in Pleodorina, we can see that the number of cells increases to 128. That is 128. And also in Volvox we see even a colony can contain from 500 to even 50,000 cells in the colony, depending upon the species in Volvox. This happens in Volvox. So we see that there is a gradual increase. We see that there is a gradual increase in the number of cells. As there is a gradual increase in the number of cells from Chlamydomonas to Altmansiella to Gonium, Pandorina, Eudorina, Pleodorina and Volvox, we see that there is a gradual increase in the cells. So there is also gradual complexity in the arrangement of the cells. That is, in Chlamydomonas there is a single cell. Chlamydomonas is a single cell. In Altmansiella, there is 4 cells. They are arranged side by side in one plane in the 2D. But in Gonium, we see 4, 8 or 16 curved plate is formed. That is, the cells are arranged in a single layer, but in 2 dimension. But as we move from Gonium to Pandorina, we see that the number of as the number of cell increases, the single plate it will not be able to remain a 32 cell. It is not stable, so it forms a spherical hollow colony. So as the spherical hollow colony is formed, it is just arrangement of the cells in a single layer, but in 3 dimension. So here, till here, till the gonium, we see that it is in 2 dimension. But as it attains a spherical shape, then it will be single layer of cell in 3 dimension. And from this Pandorina onwards, as we go, we see that all the Eudorina, Pleodorina and Volvox, they have a spherical colony, and so that is they are arranged in 3 dimension. So we see, if we summarize, we see that the number of cell increases, and the cell arrangement also, it diversifies and complexes. Also we see the intercellular connections in in Chlamydomonas. We see that Chlamydomonas do not, as being a single, it do not require intercellular connection. Then Altmansiella and this gonium do not have intercellular connection between the cells in the colony. But when we come to Pandorina, we see intercellular connection is there, but in adult colony, the connection is lost. But when we come to this Eudorina, Pleodorina and Volvox, we can see intercellular connection, protoplasmic connection between the cells in the colony in both adult, in both juvenile as well as adult stage of the colony. So this is the number 3 point, that is the presence or absence of intercellular connection. So we see that if we summarize again, we see that the number of cells, the second point is the first point is that the increase in the number of cell in the colony. Second point is that the increased complexity in the arrangement of the cells, and the third point is the intercellular connection. The fourth point is polarity. See, when we see the Chlamydomonas, the Chlamydomonas do not have, as it is a single cell, it does not require any polarity. But in Altmansiella, this Altmansiella, we see that there is just 4 cell and there is no polarity. All the cells, they have of equal size, they all are flagellated, and all they take part in reproduction. But as we go from Altmansiella to Gonium also, here also we see that there is no difference. That is, all the cells, they are of equal, they are equal both in shape, size as well as physiology. And then we go to Pandorina and Eudorina. Pandorina, Eudorina, we see there is partial polarity. That is, few cells in the anterior region, they have this flagella and do not take part in reproduction. But in the Pleodorina, this one, and the Volvox, we see there is complete polarity. That is, half of the cells they have flagella, and the other half don't have. So Pleodorina, Volvox also, this polarity can be in the form of not only flagella but also the eye spot. So this polarity will be not only in flagellation but also the eye spot. Now, what are eye spots? They are photoreceptive organ that are present in the anterior region of the chloroplast. So both this flagella as well as the eye spot, they are responsible for the physical polarity that we see. Now we will be coming to the reproductive or the physiological polarity in the colony, which is the second part of our this evolutionary trend. So, evolution and differentiation of sex. In asexual reproduction, we see that in Chlamydomonas, That is, in Chlamydomonas, as it is unicellular, single cell, it reproduces by successive bipartition, longitudinal successive bipartition to form two cells, and this in Altmansiella, the next algae, that is in the next algae, that is Altmansiella, we see that all the four cells, they have equal potential of dividing asexually. That is, all the cells, all the four cells, they withdraw their flagella, increase the amount of nutritive content inside the cell, and then start and they round off and start division. Division is always successive bipartition, and after several round of successive division, the plakia stage is formed. Plakia, or the octate, or the plate shaped stage is obtained, and after plakia further division happens. Then there is inversion of the bowl of cells, the bowl shaped cells, and after the inversion happens, then there is gradual development of eye spot and gradual development of flagella. So this entire form of asexual reproduction is possible in any of the four cells of the Altmansiella. So if we come to gonium, there also we see that all the cells in the colony, they start simultaneous division, and each cell produces a single colony which is liberated by gelatinization of the wall of the parent cell. So if we see in both Altmansiella and gonium, any cell has equal capability of forming the gonidia in asexual reproduction, and so simultaneous division occurs. In Pandorina also we see this simultaneous division. But as we come to the Eudorina, we see that not all the cells. Some species have in some species of Eudorina, all the cells start dividing simultaneously, and each cell is responsible for formation of a single auto colony, that is a new colony. But in certain species of Eudorina, we see that the anterior four cells, they are much smaller size. That is, they do not deflagellate and do not increase their size, and remain small and do not divide. So this in certain species of Eudorina, we see that there is a bit of polarity, and they do not divide. So the anterior four cells, they do not divide, and rest of the cells, they divide to form gonium, and then they form gonium, and which divide to form the auto colony. Now when we come to Pleodorina, when we come to Pleodorina, when we come to this Pleodorina, we see that certain species of Pleodorina, the polarity, so far reproduction is concerned, is limited to the anterior few cells, which are smaller and are non-reproductive, and rest of the colony is reproductive, just like a few species of Eudorina. But in Pleodorina also, we see certain species where the reproductive potential is limited to half of the cells, that is, half of the colony, anterior colony, is non-reproductive, and the other half, that is of the posterior, a posterior of the colony, they take part in reproduction. So is the case of Volvox. Here also half of the anterior cell are non-reproductive, and the other half, that is the posterior cells, are reproductive. This is about the asexual reproduction. When we see reproduction, the sexual reproduction, we see that in Chlamydomonas, sorry, in Chlamydomonas, we see that there is mostly isogamy, and isogamy is also mostly homothallic. That is, the single cell gametes produced from single cell are able to fuse. That is, gametes, they are similar in both physical as well as physiological aspect. But in Chlamydomonas, certain species have also isogamy are also heterothallic. And very one or two, very rarely do we find anisogamy and oogamy in Chlamydomonas. In Oldmansia, we see this isogamy. Isogamy is it is a very primitive type. So here we see both in Chlamydomonas, Oldmansia, there is a primitive reproduction type, and then we see in gonium, when we see the gonium, this we see gonium, then we see that the isogamy, it is isogamy but more advanced form of an isogamy, and mostly they are homothallic, but few heterothallic species are also found. That is, the same type of parents will not be able, the gametes from the same parent will not be able to fuse. That is, it will require two different parents, two gametes from two different type of parent cell to fuse. That is, this gonium, it is monoecious or dioecious, depending upon type of species. This Pandorina, and then we see the Pandorina. In Pandorina, we see that isogamy, it is mostly heterothallic, which suggests that Pandorina is a little more advanced than gonium, where gonium isogamy was mostly homothallic, that is more primitive type of homogamy, but in Pandorina we see that the isogamy is mostly heterothallic. It is mostly heterothallic, which means it is more advanced. And in the other type of in sexual reproduction, apart from isogamy, it also shows a trend. It also shows a trend towards anisogamy. This trend towards anisogamy is another step forward in case of advancement or more sophistication in case of sexual reproduction. In Eudorina, we see there is anisogamy. Anisogamy is established in Eudorina, which suggests that Eudorina is more advanced so far reproduction is concerned, more advanced than Pandorina, Gonium, Altmanziella or Chlamydomonas. Now here in Pleodorina, we see that ultimate advanced reproduction, that is oogamous reproduction, is seen both in Pleodorina as well as this Volvox. So here also we see that in the evolution and differentiation of sex also there is a gradual evolution in from Chlamydomonas, and ultimately it reaches Volvox, which is ultimate sophistication. But there is one limitation. The chief weakness of this Volvox series is that apart from this whole evolutionary train, there is one weakness, that is the motility, feature of motility. Due to this mechanical limitation of motility, we see that it has started from Volvox, which has started from Chlamydomonas and ended with Volvox. Further sophistication was not possible in this Volvocine line, and chief reason is the motility. Motility is always considered a very primitive character. And though it might happen, it might we can say that by mortality, there is 100% chance, more improved chance to move away from the predator or to move towards light. But more advanced species like we see Udogonium, and much higher like the ulva, and even much higher species like the kelps, they have developed several mechanisms, more sophistication, both in their arrangement, their thallus arrangement, as well as their reproduction. But that is another, that is not related with Volvocine line. That is a general evolutionary trend that we see in algae. So this is all about the evolution and trend in Volvocalis. And now we come to the quiz part. Which of the following algae are present in clear water only? Now, Volvox Paragonium Pudogonium. The Volvox, as we know, that they love growing in eutrophied water, but they require clear water where visibility is more because they need to photosynthesize. So is the case of Cara. Cara can grow in alkaline water. It can grow in saline water also, but the water should not be muddy. Muddy water reduces the turbidity, increases the turbidity. So both Volvox and Cara, they are the algae that are growing in clear water, and Gonium can be grown in muddy water also. So is the case of Udogonium. With this, I come to the end of this video. Thanks for watching this video. If you like it, please share with your friends and do subscribe to get the latest update about the latest videos that I'll be making. I have put all all the links of the algae related video in the description box. I have also made videos regarding fungi and lichens and cyanobacteria. You can go to my channel, you can watch those videos also. And if you want me to discuss more about this Volvocine algae that I have been discussing in the last few videos, you can write it in the comment section. Or if you want me to make more videos, you can also write it in the comment section. Next, I will be making videos about the ecological importance, economical and ecological importance, especially applied research-based importance of the Volvocine algae. That will be the last videos in this series. So that will be the upcoming video. Thank you for staying with me.